Handling DOM events in Blazor. Before we jump into Blazor, let's do a quick review on what Document Object Model or DOM events are. Here we see a traditional HTML file that contains a paragraph and button element. The button responds to the onClick DOM event. This calls a JavaScript function that increments a variable and updates the HTML inside the paragraph element. There are all kinds of DOM events. Some deal with background processes, while most like these deal with user input events, like clicking on elements or pressing keys, etc. As expected, when we open this HTML file in the browser, this is what we get. Over to Blazor. Here we have the standard scaffold Blazor web app with the counter page we're all familiar with. It too has a paragraph and button element. Just like in the traditional HTML file, the button responds to the DOM onClick event and calls a method in the code section. The method simply increments the variable. It doesn't need to change the HTML in the paragraph since the variable is already displayed in the paragraph. The page is updated accordingly. What to note is that most DOM events are reflected in Blazor with the same name. And when we run this, we get our counter page. Pretty basic stuff. A lot of the DOM events can take event arguments. Here we change the method for the onClick event to take mouse event arguments. Now we can check if the control key was held down when the button was clicked. If so, add 10 to the counter instead of just 1. Events are happy to fire off asynchronous methods as well. For those long-running background tasks, we added another button that will call the asynchronous do-work method when clicked. This allows the page to continue responding while the task is running. Once the task completes, the page will be updated again if it needs to. Clicking the Add 100 button, then continue working on the page. The page is updated when the task completes. Of course, not all events are triggered by user interactions. Some events are triggered by code. On this page, we have an input element with a reference and some data to display in its value. When the button is clicked, it sets focus on the input element. This fires off the onFocus event in the input element and calls a method to change the value it displays. For simpler statements, instead of letting the event call a method, you can write the statement inline. To do this, we use an anonymous pointer function to execute the statement to increment the counter. You can still use this inline format to call methods, especially if you need to pass additional arguments to your method. Here we're capturing the mouse event and passing it to a method along with some string. Note that we called it mouse event, but you can call it whatever you need to. It's just a variable. Also note that we use single quotes around the inline statement. This prevents collision with the double quotes of the string. Inside our method, like before, we're checking if the control key was held down when the user clicked the button. If so, for simplicity, we invoke JavaScript's alert box to display our string. To run JavaScript in Blazor, we need to inject the JavaScript runtime interface. After that, we simply add 10 to our counter. Our button works as normal. Then when we hold down the control key and click, the alert box pops up with the message. After that, 10 is added to the counter. DOM events have their own built-in behavior. Take the following example. We have an input box that displays a string value, and when the onKey pressed event is triggered, it calls a method to handle it. The method checks if the user pressed the @ key, then displays an alert that you cannot use @. Otherwise, it will add the uppercase version of the key to the data for the input box. Logically, the @ symbol should not be added to the data variable. Let's see what happens. The normal keys are turned to uppercase and added to the input box. When we press the @ key, the alert pops up. But the @ symbol is still added to the input box. To prevent this default behavior of the DOM's onKey pressed event, we set its attribute to prevent default. Now when we test this, the alert box still pops up. but the @ symbol is no longer being added to the input box. DOM events have another behavior. The event propagates or bubbles up to the root element. Here we have a diff with an on-click event that will display a diff clicked alert. Inside we have a button, also with an on-click event that displays a button clicked alert. When we click the button, both the button clicked and diff clicked alerts will be displayed. Here we click inside the diff, and only the diff alert is shown. But when we click the button, it first shows the button alert, then it propagates up and shows the diff alert. To stop this, we add a stop propagation attribute to the button's on-click event. Now when we click the button, only the button's alert is shown. But what about communicating events across components? For example, suppose a parent page wants to know when a child component was clicked. To do this, we specify an event callback in the child component. Whatever component subscribes to that event will be notified when the event is invoked. In this demonstration, we have a simple component with a button. It has a public parameter that's an event callback that returns an integer. When the button is clicked, the event is invoked and the component's random ID value is returned. In the parent page, we set up a few of these child components and subscribe to their callback parameter. Once the event is invoked, the handler will display the ID of the child that was clicked. Thank you for watching our video. For more tutorials on C#, click subscribe. Give us a like so the video can be visible to more people.